Hi, everybody. Welcome to the first episode of Perspective Africa podcast with our guest host, Oracle. Join us on this exciting journey.
Hi, guys. My name is Oracle, and I'm here with Ayotunde. We're about to talk about this wonderful piece that is just reading. It's titled Awakening the Giant. Ayo.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm happy to discuss and to talk about this amazing book that I believe would do a great impact amongst Nigerian youths.
Yeah, I must say that I sat down and read the book, and I can say for a fact that it's a great piece. And one thing that stood out for me with the book is it's not it's quick to read. It's not like a voluminous book that's repeating information. It's short and precise. Yes. And that's one thing that I like because I lose attention quickly. So I like when something is short and precise and you can still get the point. So let's start with, what inspired you to write this book?
So first I'll tell you, I've had this book prepared, say, for about like 12 years.
Wow.
And I just published it about last year. And even though I've had it for that long, just to tell you that the passion that I have, it's not just now, it's been there for
a
long time. And what inspired it is that I started to, so I'm a very huge disciple of Chief Obafemi Awolowo.
The late great sage.
Yes. So I studied his life. I studied I wondered about how it got to the point of fighting for of Nigeria, him and his contemporaries. And it was at the same age as when it was within his the range of 30s and all of that. And he didn't grow up having a whole lot, but he had something in him, even for a person of that age, in that era. If it was born 1909, 1940s. This was before independence. So you can imagine the situation at that time. If we were looking for encouragement at that time, I don't think there was any.
Not at all.
Time. But they were fighting. They were going to constitutional conferences. They were looking for a way to make sure that they would fight for the soul of the Nigeria that we're enjoying now. And I thought about it like Nigerian youths, like, just do not see that kind of fight, that kind of passion. And it started to worry me. A lot of things were happening. And I thought about it like, I do think that, again, Nigerian youth are amazing. We have the brightest minds. However, you can see the height of the political apathy in our midst. You can see all of what. So that inspired.
Do you think the high level of political apathy we see today is because the society has essentially gotten to a point where people no longer care about the collective? Everybody's just about, if I'm good, hey, the rest of you,
yes. Yes, I totally, yes. And you see, I've had a discussion with like a couple of people, and yes, we're not thinking about the community. We're not thinking about the collective. We're thinking only about ourselves. And we misunderstood the goal of our parents. And this is what I'm saying. Our parents sent, majority of, I would say more than 70% of Nigerians are educated.
Sure that.
And a lot of us, our parents sent us there to have, not just to succeed educationally, but to have some sort of exposure, right? Mm-hmm. And the exposure was not just they want you to be the doctor,
the lawyers and everything.
But that might be their thought, but there is more to it. We that we've gone for that education, after the things that we've been exposed to, the knowledge, we should know that it is beyond that. It is not just for ourselves. Our society is supposed to benefit from things like this.
So I agree with you. I think what is missing, I'm very young, but I have read very vast about history. I am very vast with Nigerian history, and I know that the likes of Chief Obafemi Awolowo that you idolize, Esela Akintola, Tafawa Balewa, Amadu Bello, the Zik of Africa, those men, when I read about them, I realized that some of the things they were doing, they were very young, they were in their 20s.
Please.
And when I look at it in contrast to a 20-year-old, 25-year-old, 30-year-old this time, people don't even like, personally, a lot of times people think I'm weird because I like to talk about politics. That's the one thing I will talk with anywhere, anytime.
Same here.
And people be like, oh, you're too young, so why do you like politics? And then we wonder when, quote unquote, uneducated people start to make decisions for you. When you, the educated people,
decide to jettison.
and that talks about the first chapter in your book. So
yes.
yeah, let's talk about that, political apathy.
So you would find, you see, again, I'm trying so hard not to be overly critical of the Nigerian youth.
I think Nigerian youth are
I'm one, but we cannot continue to make excuses of the fact that I've heard so much excuses. Oh, the distrust, and I understand that. I am also a victim of that. And I'm not also saying that I'm also one of, if I'm critiquing the Nigerian, I'm also critiquing myself. I'm also part of those people who did not do what I'm saying that it should be done. What I'm saying though is that, you see, we cannot leave, this society already structured. We cannot leave the affairs of our society, be it the political, be it the social, we cannot leave it in the hands of those who are, I would call them politically unexposed. They do not understand as much. And we should also understand, we should also understand that a lot of things, see, as human beings, we are influenced by a lot of things.
Sure.
Poverty influences us to make choices that we might not want to make. But you can also imagine people who do not understand what they are going to be involved in, what they're going to be selecting, the things that they're actually signing off on. They do not understand it, the impact that it does on the long run, right? So it means that when we are selecting people to go represent us in either the local government, the councilor, the local government chairman, the state governors, all of those, the House of Reps, we need to be able to, we need us to be part of
involved. Yes. Because the major concern Nigerian youth will tell, oh, the leaders are bad, the leaders are this and the third, which is understandable. I share the sentiments, but I also understand, like, those leaders didn't just put themselves there. Regardless of how bad you think Nigeria is, we still have a good electoral process where you go through primaries, then you go to the general election.
Yes.
Now, as a Nigerian youth, I think, regardless of your tribe, religion, whatever, you should be a member of a political party. You should be a part of that decision-making that picks a candidate, because that's where the change actually starts.
So, and that's my point, that we need to understand that we cannot all be a president. We cannot all be the state governors. We cannot all be the House of Representatives. The senators, right? However, we need to understand that with the Nigerian youth are too brilliant, are too intelligent to be on the sideline. And that it worries me that we also need to make sure that we are part of the selection processes. And we're not even talking national now. Yes,
from
national,
the grassroots.
From the grassroots. We need to be part of it.
So I'll make an argument for Nigerian youth.
One of the things that you would hear that, oh, when we join the political party, they also don't the expense or all those things. However, I every time I have this conversation with people, I tell people, like, I think we're looking for immediate results. You whether we like it or not, the society is already structured.
True that.
Excuses, no. With the society is already structured to the point that before anything, you have to be you have to follow the due process. And due process lets us know that you have to be a part of the political party. Form one, be a member of one, join one, be active.
So I want to make an argument for Nigerian youth here now. So we wouldn't just be criticizing them. So we can this is the pragmatic conversation. We have to balance it. So one of the things I've heard actually from Nigerian youth, and I'll share an example. One of my childhood friends ran for election in the last election cycle in Nigeria. And then he said one of the times he was out meeting with some of the party leaders, and he was trying to let them know, I'm a young guy, I'm just trying to make a difference. And the old man looked at it, and there was another friend that bore him witness to that. And the old man said, look, I don't care if you're a young person. The moment you decide to run for office, it means you have money, because I have kids that are not running for office because they can't afford it. But if you put yourself out there to run, it means you can afford it. So do you think the idea that the politics is very, very expensive in Nigeria is a major problem for the Nigerian youths to participate in politics?
Let's even think outside of Nigeria. Politics is expensive everywhere.
Sure.
Let cut Nigeria or some slack.
Sure.
Politics is expensive when in the United States, politics is expensive.
Very expensive.
Ever. this goes back to the point of this book. The structure, if ain't no change is gonna happen. You see that complaint about it would not change. So the idea that maybe that would change it's not gonna happen.
I agree with you.
There is no way you want to. I understand that the corruption part, the corruption part, that might impact or discourage people in that part. But when it comes to you trying to promote yourself, it is not expensive to influence people to vote for you. It's not cheap product. It is expensive.
Sure.
Now, my thing is this. It goes back to what we were saying. These political godfathers, they don't just take somebody and they depend on the people, the member of their political party, the members to select them. They influence those people to select their preferred candidate. Now, again, it goes back to what we're saying. The members that we're talking about, that these political godfathers depend on, again, for lack of a better word, they are politically unexposed, they're uneducated. It is that play we need to destabilize. That is the structure we need to destabilize.
So before, again, I'm still trying to make arguments for Nigeria.
Okay.
In chapter 2, in chapter 2 of the book, like I said, I read the book. There's Musa.
Okay.
Who went to school, did the expected things, go to school, try to look for a job. Musa couldn't get a job.
Yes.
And every night, it was worried. He looked at his brother. It was like, is he going to end up like me? Mm-hmm. So don't you think there are many Musas in the South, in the East, in the North, who have also lost interest in politics because of the dishonesty of the leaders? And they think, at this point, every 4 years, we hear those people come. They make promises. Mm-hmm. They sweet talk us. You hear some very inspiring statements, and you feel like, oh, this is the guy. And then the guy gets in, does nothing. So don't you think constant disappointment is also part of why a lot of Nigerian youth are starting to feel like, hey, again, instead of trying to be part of the larger change, mm-hmm. I'll just work to make sure Oracle gets what he needs.
Yeah.
He has food, he has a house to stay, and it's good.
Yes, I empathize because I wrote the book. I feel for Musa. Musa is not just Musa is there to let you see, like I said, a lot of Musas from every part of the region in Africa going through this same thing, seeing the lives that our politicians live, seeing their corruption and just bad ways of how they're living. I agree with that. I agree, and that was there to let you see the suffering that I was once that Musa that I couldn't get a job for some time. I know a lot of my friends too who were in that same shoes. But what I'm saying here though is that while I'm trying to let Nigerians and Nigerian youth see what could have been.
They picked up the fight
Yes.
to fight for independence, and I think there were obstacles then too, but those people didn't give up. They actually fought through. So as I am making an argument for Nigerian youth understanding
Yeah.
the problems,
Yeah.
I can also imagine what it was like in 1930s.
Let me tell you the danger they were facing. The dangers they were facing was worse because
There was
they
no
were
phone call.
There was no phone call.
You
There was
couldn't
no social
call
media.
somebody,
There was
like-
no United Nations that was
There was no
holding countries
universal, accountable. So everybody
They could have. They could do anything to you.
The colonial were not the nicest
yes,
people.
not
They
the
were
nicest.
brutal.
So that's the thing. But they did not let that stop them. They were fighting with wisdom. They were not carrying guns.
Look
or
at Nelson
anything.
Mandela, 27
they were
years
fighting
in
with
prison.
wisdom. They understood the structure that if we want something, we have to also be part of this political game. Let's join it. Let's share our ideas. If you see, again,
I think what we're essentially saying to Nigerian youth is you
Yes.
cannot make a difference from outside.
yes,
You can only make a difference when you're in the cycle.
yes,
And it may be difficult to get in, but we have to get in.
yes. And one other thing is that what I've constantly also heard is, but we end up going to vote. Mind you, the last vote there was very low
It was one of the lowest turnouts
turnout
ever.
for the youth. Now, we have limited ourselves to just voting, to just going to vote. Please.
What do you say
That's
about
not just what we're made for.
somebody made I think it was a tweet or something, I can't recall now, a while ago, that I think Nigerian youths are content with being political appointees like this, special advisors, special assistants, especially on social media matter.
Yes.
I have a few friends that
Yes.
you know that holds that position, so I'm not trying to
Yes.
shade them. But do you think that's that's
Yes.
better?
That's what we've limited ourselves to.
Or being an actual member of the House of Rep where you can write a bill, try to
Yes.
get it passed? Or
No, the number of youths too now that are getting into the House of Reps and all of that. But again, we cannot limit ourselves to, again, political appointees and just be waiting for somebody to make us their SA and all of that. No. With the brilliancy that we possess as a people, I think it's bad that we've limited ourselves to that. Again, it goes back to the excuses again. No excuses. Maybe we have made our excuses in the past. It's the time for us. The election is next. The
election is next year.
Now, I'm not saying again, like I said, this
less than a year.
Change that we need. It's the reality of it is that it cannot be immediate.
True.
It will mean that we are building on the same structure, on the same people. It cannot be immediate. We're still looking like another years and years of.
But we have to start.
We have to start because we need reorientation of our people, and again, our families, our friends. I asked one of my friends when he was telling me about that they don't give Nigerian youths chances to become things in Nigeria. And I asked, have you been able to convince even your own family members or your friends about your political thought? Do they take you seriously? Are you a member of your CDA? No, it's the truth because we need to understand that we need to be responsible.
I think another thing that I agree with largely is that, and I've said this many times, sometimes people have even come for me for that opinion, and I've said, no matter how bad you think the country is, no matter how much you complain, nobody would wake up one morning and call you and be like, Ayo, this is power.
Take it.
No. Power is never, even in the West, that is the most civilized first world country, nobody comes to you in your living room and say, this is power, take it.
Take it, no.
Power is not given. Power is taken. You have to go take it. Nobody is going to hand it over to you. So I think that's another part Nigerian youth needs to understand that.
Yes, you're very right on that. It's not, we will continue dreaming, thinking that somebody's going to...
Because I think
it's not going to happen.
I speak to some people, they think the older politicians are just supposed to wake up one morning and be like, oh, I'm old.
Because you know what it is? If we think about it, in a very right way, this set of people that are handling the Nigerian political state today, they've been fighting for this position for years, even long before we were born. They've been fighting for democracy.
I agree with you.
They might have misstepped in their ways, but
the current crop of politicians we have,
they've been fighting for this when they were young.
I agree with you.
They've been through all of it all.
I may not like most of them to give you power.
Hand it over.
That's a very good point. I may not like most of the crop of politicians that we have right now in Nigeria, but one thing I have done, and I'll give all of them credit for, is I've studied most of them, and I know almost all of them. They started well. They were part of the 1993 election annulment that was likely mentioned in the book. And those people have given a lot also to the country. You can now blame them for what they turned out to become.
Yes.
But none of those people sat in their room and got power. There was this politician that I didn't know about him for a long time. I just knew about him in 2023. And I thought he was a new guy. Then there was an old conversation around him, and they were talking about the things he's done, the part of the movement he's been in. And now you realize that it came a long way. They didn't jump from heaven.
Every one of them that you see now handling every major, they didn't just start today.
They have a history.
They have a history of constantly fighting for their society, their community, all of these things. They built this. What have we built as Nigerian youths? And that's why when people start to look at the national party, the presidency, I quickly try to bring them down. What have you done in your streets? Do people know you? Do people see any impact that you've done in your street? Do your parents take you seriously? Do they send you to go represent them at the CDA?
Can the family trust you? Can they trust your opinion and all that?
If you meet my parents today, they will tell you that anybody that knows me knows I've been talking this way for years. And I'm not saying that my political perspective is the best. I'm saying that I've had this passion to to community development for a long time. I'm saying we need to enough. I also want to also state that I'm not criticizing the social media outburst. It's good. It works very well. We need to hold people accountable. We need to tell the world what's going on. We need to move it beyond that.
Social media. Social media is still not real.
And you know what it is that I just think we don't have understanding generally as that's all. Because we on every Friday, Saturdays we go watch soccer. We all hang out. We all talk. We are communal people.
Yeah, we Nigerians are very cordial people. We like to be together.
How are we? A lot of us don't even know who our councillor is or the local government chairman is.
That's
we as a people. Do you know that a local government get nothing less than 2 billion naira as for outside of their IGR.
Into generated revenue.
I cannot remember any project that is being done by local government chairman or councillors. We are not holding those people accountable. We're not representing. We're not doing anything.
One of the things like we said earlier, Nigerian youth are very intelligent people, largely educated people, but they're very ignorant to certain things. Recently, I was talking to somebody, and I realized that people don't understand that there are different grades of road. Yeah. And I think the guy was blaming the president, Nigerian president, who, by the way, I'm not a fan of, but I respect him, and I think he's the greatest politician Nigeria's ever made. I am not.
Totally agree.
I don't like him as an administrator, but as a politician, I think Tinubu is Nigeria's greatest
totally
politician.
Agree.
That's just putting it by the way. Now,
I totally agree with you. I'm 100% with you.
So, but the person was blaming him for a road, and I'm like, do you know that there are 3 grades of road in Nigeria? There's the federal road, state road, and local government. Yeah. The road you're actually worried about, it's not the president's. Yeah, it's not in the president's whatever to do. It probably doesn't even know that road because it's your local government chairman. But I think a lot of people are ignorant about the basics of governance and of government. They don't understand that. There's a reason why there's a federal government. There's a reason why there's a state government and a local government. And there are roles for these tiers of government. And you should be holding each tier responsible for certain things that is their responsibility.
It makes me think. Again, no shade to the Nigerians. Are we actually as intelligent as we claim we are? Why? One is that, well, we've been learning government since primary school, if I'm correct.
But like social studies.
Social studies. We all these things, they're not new to us. As far as a Nigeria, like everyone that grows in Nigeria, we just we followed exactly what the people, it's like we refuse to look to the right, to the left. We just followed, but we claim to be the most intelligent people.
I think we're very intelligent.
It's questionable.
But it is questionable. I think where we channel our intelligence is the core
because
problem
we don't. Since I just think since I have lived in Nigeria, I cannot remember seeing the local government chairman or councillor. Most of them don't even live in that.
I would not mention. I lived in the southern area in Nigeria at some point. Our chairman was living on the island.
Yeah. Majority of them, that's exactly what it is.
How do you live on the island when your local government is in the mainland? But hey.
It goes back to the question, we chose them.
True.
I will tell you something about my own experience. I love my mother to death. She was a woman leader in one of the parties in Nigeria. One day I spoke to her, I said, good stuff you guys are doing. And I asked her, I conversed with her. In fact, that was one of the things that gave me more passion about this. And after that conversation, she understood right there that, wow, we've been moving in a different direction. We've just been moving. While our children are here, we send them to school, we invested in them. Why are we not trusting them? Why are we not encouraging them?
I have a question.
Instead of me going, why have I not letting my child, who I invested in to go get education that I did not get, to go represent
me and do that?
So, and because why? Because we have not, a lot of us have not had conversations that they don't, that's why it comes back to the question about, do your family even trust you? Did they see as a brilliant
Talking
person?
about family,
Yeah.
there's a large role that the family plays in politics and in
Yes.
shaping the society at large. In the spirit of apathy, because this entire book, I think the apathy part is still like the
It takes the whole thing. Others are just
I'll start with
stories,
my
yeah.
own personal experience. Both of my parents are very current on politics, and
Yeah.
my parents would listen to news. My father's late now, but my mother, she still listens. But they didn't like the idea of political participation. So when I started loving politics, I share with you, in 2015 election, on the day of the election, my mother locked me in the house. Essentially that you're not going to go out because you will speak about politics. It was one of the most hostile election in Nigeria. It was very volatile.
Yes.
So she was scared for me essentially, and
Yeah.
she was like, on day of election, I'm going to make sure you're locked in this house at least until like 6 p.m. when everything is done. So do you think in cases like that, family also influences people to not become
Yeah.
political? Though in fairness to my mother, eventually, she every time now when there's any political whatever, she'll call me. Did you see what happened? Did you see? So we will talk about it. And now she's like, yeah, that's your
Well,
thing.
it is
So do you think that
understandable.
affects some people too?
Yes, and it is understandable. The Nigerian society is not the safest, for one.
True.
Our so-called representatives, I would say, let me use the word allegedly, intentionally made it unsafe, so that to keep people who actually have a separate interest not to be able to actually participate in voting. Now, one of the things that I also wrote in the book is that
Exactly. I remember there's an old.
we cannot, all of us, and again, I understand our parents and our families trying to keep us safe and all of these things. Chief Obafemi Awolowo did not achieve anything without sacrifice. He went to jail.
Almost all of them.
All of them. There can be no change without sacrifice. And there's part in the Bible that lets you know that if a person is trying to go to war, would he not try to make account of what is going to happen?
Yeah,
I'm paraphrasing it, of course. So, but the point is, in this, you have to know that there's always price to pay. Now, somebody even speaking about family, one of my good brother called me, was it yesterday or day before? Out of the blue. And he was calling me about the book. That he read some party and he was telling me he was trying to ask me about how about the involvement of women in
About women riots.
about women. And he was saying, well, how about the women, that there should be more involvement of women also in and I asked them, I said, yes, you're very right. I think women representation needs to be more than what it is now.
Sure.
However, the politicians that we have now, most of them do have wives and daughters and sons and all of that. See, we all need to also understand that if I'm making bad decisions, it's only because the people around me also let me do it. So we're saying women are not represented. I agree totally. But we all have people, our families, that they're just going back to our families. It shows that the Nigerian society itself is decayed.
Very.
Is decayed. So again, it goes back. If we want change, we need to start it.
I believe in women representation. I have 2 daughters, so I would want them to participate in politics. But like we said earlier, nobody is going to come to you and tell you this is power.
Yes.
You have to join. And about women riots, that was one of my favorite stories.
Yes.
Since I was a young boy in high school, I read it because I did history in high school. And I really liked the fact that they stood up and fought for something. And historically, no successful movement has worked without women being an integral part of it. So I think there are crops of Nigerian young females that are in politics, but I think we need more of them.
Yes.
Now, there was a part of sacrifice that you mentioned, so let's talk about it. There's been different protests in Nigerian history, but 2 stands out to me because it happened in my lifetime.
Recent time, yes.
The Occupy Nigeria in 2012. I still remember that.
Yes.
And then NSAS in 20. I was part of it in New York City.
Yes.
I was in the Nigerian Embassy, United Nations, we're protesting.
Yes.
And all of that.
Yes.
Do you think the NSAS movement, which is what I want to focus on,
yes,
do you think what happened on the night of October 20th really changed Nigerian youth's perspective about politics? Do you think that kind of sets us back a million miles? Because when people saw that there were people who died on that night defending their country, defending their ideas and principles they believe in, and they paid the ultimate sacrifice.
Yes.
Do you think that can be a deterrent?
Yes. It again, like I said earlier, these are not mistakes. These actions are not just done randomly. There's a goal to it. Going back to deter you from participation. They might encourage you, but the actions that they take.
It's people we would call laymen and all of
Yes,
that.
yes.
And then the supposed educated, they're playing soccer. We think it's a holiday essentially on the election.
That's not.
You're supposed to chill.
You would find that. Let's assume politician is campaigning and all of that. I'm sure if I ask you what are the 3 things that he's going to campaign, he's going to say he's going to do, his promises to the layman, we already know. He wants to do road. He wants to
give you life.
But I can imagine people like us who being in a position where we can sit down and let somebody come tell us that you want to do road.
How?
We've even moved past that. Move past that. Outside of those things, what else do you have to do? You want to do road, the lights, all of all this. We can do it ourselves. What else?
The funny thing about it is, when somebody that is running for House of Rep is promising you electricity, it's not within his power or his office to fix that. But because, again, like you said, the people that are selling those dreams to don't know the right questions to ask. And then the people who know the right questions to ask are essentially not interested.
Not participating. So exactly that's the point of this book, is letting you see the urgency. And look, we see the politics around the world now. We see the world order is changing. If we continue to leave Nigeria as is, we're not going to benefit for when the world actually changes.
True.
We're at a disadvantage as a nation if we did not get ourselves right. If we did not get ourselves in order, we're at a disadvantage. So we need to understand that if we're thinking we're going to go to another country or whatever, it's not home.
I mean, with what you said, I think the Japa made it so far it's in the dictionary.
And that's the thing. We can all say we can run, but I tell you this: we can run to wherever. But if something drops, I don't know if you remember the whole insecurity going on in Nigeria right now.
Yes.
Once we hear the news, you're here in America or in London.
But your heart is every
why?
time because you have people.
Because
you still have people back there. You still feel connected.
You might not even know the people, but
there
something in that is your people.
Every time I hear about
Igbo, be it Yoruba, be it Hausa, be it
I would always be upset.
You're upset. So it means that there's a deep. So it lets you understand that we need to participate.
And even aside that, globally now, almost even the Western countries that we all run to, they're beginning to crack down on their immigration system. The UK,
yes,
they're cracking down. Canada is limiting.
Europe, generally,
America is Europe. My
everywhere.
friend was traveled to Europe sometimes last year, and he said when you walk on the street, I think he said Turkey or something, they could randomly just ask you, what's your papers?
Yeah.
So everywhere is almost everywhere you would likely want to run to are cracking down on immigration. So, and it's even becoming harder for Nigerians to travel.
Yes.
Right now we're on the ban in America now. So now, it begs the question: when there's nowhere to run to anymore, what would you do?
And now
we
see how our society continues to just become more of a mess every other time. We need to understand that the level of urgency has heightened. It's not just how it was before. It has heightened from the insecurity from the north now to the southwest is bad. We need to understand that every school student, you're in college, once you've made it to college, become a member of a political party. Become a member of. I'm preaching it to everybody. Somebody asked me, "Do you want to form a party?" I said yes. I have my own political ideologies. I don't need, but you don't have to. We don't have to share the same political
We don't have to
ideologies.
be share the
But
same
go do
ideology.
something. Go join something.
Our
Go
ideology
become part
can be
of it.
different.
Can be different.
Just
but,
make sure we're
you
fighting
know,
for the same
You
goal.
see, one of the best things about the American system is, be it Democrat or Republican, they might have different ideologies.
But the goal is
Just
to keep the country good,
America
great, and all that.
to keep America great. That's what they. So I told that individual, like, listen, do something else, but participate.
Talking about using America as a reference, because I'm very big on American politics as well as Nigerian politics and all of that.
Yes.
One thing that I've realized, and even though there's a lot of similarities within the American system and Nigerian system of politics, but one thing I've come to realize is in Nigeria there is no political ideology. None of those parties has a core ideology. When you see a Democrat, you say they're liberal.
Yeah.
If you see a Republican, you call them
Yeah.
conservative because they stand for something.
Does that not tell you something? It tells you that the present, for lack of a better word, the present cabal or the present you need to also share these ideas with people and all of that. We just need to build
like
a
you said
different
in the
structure.
book, it's not enough to have an idea. You also have to know how to
Yes.
put that idea to life.
Yes.
Because you could have an idea, the idea could be brilliant. I could want to go to Mexico. It's a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
But if I don't buy a ticket, go to the
Yes,
airport,
yes.
get on the plane, I'm
Yes.
not gonna get there.
Yes.
So as good as your idea is as good as how you put in effort to make it come to
Yes,
reality. And I
exactly
think
that.
that's what the Nigerian youth essentially needs to.
So this is
needs to do.
all my goal as far as this book is concerned, to just let people know that read it, but see the call here, see the urgency at hand, see that this is not time is running out. With the way the world is moving,
We
we need something to start now.
So let's digress a little bit.
Yes, please.
So when are you running for office?
Okay, so I do have. I don't hide the fact that I have an ambition. However, I also think that my ambition is not just to attain a position or to my main agenda is the reorientation of our people. The reorientation of our people. Me being a governor or a president is for highest 8 years. But my goal is to make sure that from even 20 years, 30 years, our minds have changed, our political structure has changed. That is where I'm heading. When am I going to run for office?
The election is next year. That's why I'm asking.
You never know. I might be on the ballot next year for something, but we'll see. However, I do have an ambition. I'm sure the world will see.
Just make sure you invite me to be part of the campaign team.
Sure.
I have 1 or 2 ideas to
Sure,
put that.
yeah.
But I think I largely agree with the book. It's very deep,
Thank you very much.
insightful.
Thank you very
Again,
much.
like you said, it's short, but it contains cogent information.
Yes, thank you.
It's not about the size of the book, it's about the content. And the
Yes.
content in this really speaks to the current problems we have,
Yes.
shows that these problems are not new. They could be a different problem, but we've had different problems and we've had different youths
Yes.
from the days of the great chief Obafemi Awolowo and
Yes.
the likes, and they overcame. And what it just tells us is that it was even worse then. Like we said, there was no way to disseminate information quickly. I can't imagine if Chief wrote his letter from his house in
How long did we get to-
how long it took to get it. And now I could literally pick up my phone and make a video, and it would get to all the 7
Yes.
continents,
Yes.
and everybody would get my message.
It
So
was way worse then.
it was way worse, and some way somehow they figured
They figured it out.
so
They
figured it
fought.
out before they won, and we're reading about them today,
Yes.
and that's why there's Obafemi Awolowo University, Nnamdi Azikiwe International
Yes.
Airport,
Yes.
Tafawa
A lot of
Balewa
things,
Square.
a lot of-
It's
a
because of
lot
what
of-
they
a lot of-
did. So I think
know.
the current crops of Nigerian youth we just got to step up. Myself
we do.
included.
Yes.
Yourself
Myself
included.
too,
And
yes.
just the what we have to
Yes.
do.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your comment. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
So guys, if you haven't gotten this, go on Amazon.
Yes. Thank you.
Awakening the Giant. A very good read. You should get one on Amazon. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, for sticking with us through this episode. And many thanks to our guest host, Oracle. Thank you for all your love and support. And thank you to our viewers and listeners. Also, thank you so much. Also, to all of our viewers and listeners, make sure to like and comment and share and subscribe to our podcast, Perspective Africa podcast, across all social media platforms. We really appreciate your love and support. Also, please endeavor to grab your copy on Amazon, a copy of Awakening the Giant on Amazon. It's a quick read and not expensive at all. Many thanks. We really appreciate you. And until next time, my name is Ayotunde. I'm the host of Perspective Africa. See you and God bless.